We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Here they come again, wicked. Here we go again. Ace Kennedy, my brother from another mother, was happening.
What's good, bro?
Hey man, so I'm listen. I was excited to see that you're slinging out new singles coming on up here, man. Next week, man. We got that on the docket as a talking item. Or we waiting for next week for that?
No. I mean, we can talk about it. You know, the new single will be out on April 1st. So, and this is not a joke. I know people are looking for the punchline. There is no punchline. It's funny because honestly, I posted the picture on Snapchat, and people were like, "Where at?" And so I guess it looked more like a flyer than it did an album cover. But nonetheless, I've been getting a bunch of positive feedback from it, so I'm excited.
Well, listen, man, let's get that music on one time. Then let's get it cranked up.
Yes, sir.
Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Can you dig it, sucker?
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Yep. Try Jesus.
It's Friday.
Not me. Cause I throw hands. Try Jesus. Please don't try me. Because I'm fine. Try.
Ace Kennedy, it is a Friday evening. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to Slash Brothers Facebook and YouTube page. As we always mention, every episode is uploaded to all streaming platforms shortly thereafter the show, so you can stream us anywhere you listen to podcasts. That's Spotify, that's Apple Podcasts. I believe Pandora also does podcast listening there. So we everywhere, though. So check your boys out if you're on the go. Ace Kennedy.
What's up, bro?
It's Friday, bro. This week has been a long one for me. Usually they fly by. This one's been one of the longer weeks in quite some time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Same here. I had 2 doctor's appointments. I had 2 people come out to fix stuff in the house. I had panel this week. This has definitely been a long week.
Well, let me hear then. What's the best thing you've seen all week?
Easily. The boy Deuce was named Offensive Player of the Year. Easily.
For the conference then. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's all good there, man. So listen, conference, how many schools we talking about?
Man, don't give me the line. I mean, I seen the list, but it's in this, within the state of Oklahoma. So, when they look at all of the year and the awards and everything, yeah, he made Offensive Player of the Year, which is interesting because when Tari played, Smitty for most of y'all, but when Tari played, he ended up being Player of the Year. So, my boy's over here killing it.
Yo, here's a funny thing for me, right? So, given all of the things that I have seen this week, probably one of the best things I've seen three things that I would say. I saw a clip of a dude who was in the stands at a Mavs game that looked exactly like Luka Doncic, bro. And while Luka is shooting the free throw, the dude is behind the free throw. And I'm thinking, like, listen, bro, I know that people say I'm someone who can be accused of saying a lot of people look alike. Bro, they look so much like it's ridiculous, though, man. I fell out laughing when I saw that. Because just imagine that, though, bro. Imagine, listen, Ace, imagine, right? If you are singing, you on stage, and you see somebody in the front row, and everybody tell this boy, you look like Ace Kennedy.
Yeah,
and then he's in the front row of your crowd, and you singing, and you see somebody who looks exactly like you singing the words to your song, bro.
Yeah, it's almost like if you would have went to a Hawks game and the boy David West was out there playing and you was out there.
No way.
Same thing, bro.
I never, when I had a goatee, that was the only time I remember that I could kind of see it. But I told you the time I was in Chicago and somebody mistaken me for, what was old dude? Somebody mistook me for, oh my gosh, it was a cat who used to play for the Braves and ended up playing for the Cubs and was on their run though, man. Oh my gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue though, man. Anywho, so that was funny though, man. But the other thing, let me tell you something I thought was this just melted my heart, bro. And it's one of the reasons why I have always said that I would be afraid to death of having a daughter, right? I got one son. I'm glad with that. I see you with your house full of girls. And maybe because you got a bunch of girls, it's easy to say no to the girls. Although it would be harder for me to say no to Charlie if Charlie was in my presence, right? But so I'm looking on a TikTok video, right? And I see this video of this little girl on here, bro. She has to be maybe 3 years old, if that, 3. Beautiful little pretty girl, man. She got this big afro. Her name is like Camille something. So what I think is fire about this, she's in the backseat of this car and her granddad is telling her, have you seen this video I'm talking about?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah, it went viral to the point where when I saw it the first time, it had like 2 million views on it. I looked at it again, it's like up to 52, maybe 60 million views on this, right? And so here's the funny thing. So the girl, the granddad is outside the car and he was like, see you later. And then she's like, see you later. And then he gives her a kiss goodbye. And then she does the same thing. So he says, okay, see you later. And the mom is recording the whole time. And the little girl just looks away and she looks like she basically is about to start crying. And she says, I hope I see him later. And I was like, oh my God, it's like she just made my heart just melt. I was like, it was the most innocent thing that you would probably find, Ace. And so I immediately start following this girl and her mom on TikTok. And find out that, you know what I'm saying, like her and her grandpops, like they tight like that though, man. So it was just real dope though, man, to see that interaction that I don't know if there's a grandmom in the picture, but listen, grandpa to her is that life though, bro. It was excellent, bro.
That's dope. The super dope. The other thing I will say, I know you said you had 3, but is that Falcon Winter Soldier episode today, bro? I ain't gonna spoil it because I know you ain't seen it, but bro,
I have not seen it, man. But listen, the other things that I saw, we didn't get into it, and I don't know that you would have an opinion about this. We'll talk about it a little bit later. I finally rewatched the Verzuz battle with Raekwon and Ghostface Killer. Right. I didn't think that you would be interested in it at all, though, bro. Not
really. But go ahead. I'm listening.
No, but I watched it though, man. And so it's funny to me because the thing that I love about, I love about Verzuz, especially when you talk about going to the 90s. I love the nostalgia that the 90s bring out. Right. I love how familiar people are, right? It's almost like 90s R&B, 90s hip hop. You have this bond to this era, though, bro. So I watched it. I didn't get a chance to watch it when it first happened, but I watched it. I watched it on the replay. I saw it on YouTube, and I thought it was fire, though, bro. I mean, like it wasn't one of the best ones. It had to be. You had to be a big Wu-Tang fan to really lock into it and everything like that. They got to be familiar with their catalog because I mean they played a bunch of songs that were from Iron Man and Only Built for Cuban Links and Daytona. So you had to have you have to know their stuff. But if you knew their catalog like that, oh my gosh, man, I can imagine it just being in the moment that it was epic though, bro.
Yeah, I can imagine. I think I know for a fact like Charlamagne was looking forward to it, him and DJ Envy. So again, I understand and respect the people that wanted to see it, but nah, it wasn't for me.
Two of the best. Listen, and I'm gonna say this though, man. I think that the part about it, I laugh because these are two people who people regard not just the best lyricists, but two of the best flows. Right? We always talk about give different categories: the GOATs, best of all time. This, if you had to do best flows, styles, these two might be top 10, right? To a lot of people. So that was cool. And then I also was tripped out on the fact that, you know, now, right, the name Raekwon, like there's Raekwon who plays for the Bears, matter of fact. There's Roquan. There's all these Quans now, man, that I just, it reminded me of like Devontae, right, from Jodeci. All these versions of Devontae, Javonte, and Devontae with the A, Devontae with an O. So I think that it's fire though, man, that there are some kids that are named after people who we listened to their music back in the day though, bro.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we could go down the list of people who, like you said, are named after famous musicians now that was probably never thought of beforehand. So
well, yeah. 90s names at that though, right? So it's different from just simple old Chris, Michael, you know what I'm saying, Steve. But I'm talking about like them hood names. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not like Nas, Nasir. I know several people who've named their kids Nasir from Nas though, bro. So I think that that's what's fire though, bro.
So what's on the bracket for today, bro?
Oh, let me ask you this before we get into some other. Since we're talking, no, we'll get into the verses later because I do got something came on up about verses that we'll get into. Timberland caused a little bit of little chaos with some comments that he said. But let me ask you this: the one thing that we didn't get a chance to get into, man, on Tuesday, bro. I was I'm always very on the fence and saddened when I see they had another mass shooting out in Colorado, right? And the thing that I'm always kind of on the fence about, bro, is gun control, right? And like my thing is that all of these killing sprees or these massive acts of violence, they're always done with assault rifles, right? AR-15s and everything. And I'm a firm believer of you having your rights. It's a constitutional right to bear arms. And you and I are gun owners, right? But I'm just also thinking like, bro, do you think that the screening process needs to be revised? Like, how do you do if you got to run a background check to get a gun, to own a licensed gun?
Here's the thing though. How do we know that the people that are doing these mass killings are actually registered gun owners though?
Well, that's a good point because I believe to certain rifles, you can buy them without, it's not like a handgun where you got to register them. You can own a shotgun and you don't got to necessarily register a shotgun. You don't have to have your fingerprints on file to own a shotgun.
Yeah. I mean, even what happened in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? And then wasn't there something recent about a guy who had like 5 guns and was in full body armor, was down at Atlantic Station?
Yeah, man, that was it. That Atlantic Station is one of my favorite places to go in Atlanta, right? I think you came out here. We've gone out there almost every time you come to Atlanta. We typically swing by Atlantic Station.
Yeah.
Kilwin's Popcorn, my go-to spot, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm very familiar with the area though, man. But I think it's just like you have a right to bear arms, right? But sometimes, and not a lot of times, that could be a bit excessive. Like I'm just like I see people who in Georgia, because it is open carry, I might see somebody walking through the mall strapped up, and they got their weapon visible. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, is that necessary? Like, yeah, you can legally do it as long as the mall facility doesn't have any rules against that. But I'm talking about, like, I've gone to like Sugarloaf Mills Mall, for example, and I've seen people out and about with long rifles, and it's just like almost like this is a watch, or this is an accessory basically to your outfit. And it just seems like it's just a bit unnecessary to me when I see stuff like that, though, bro.
Well, this is my thing. For one, I'm not going to do that, because if I am out and about, and let's say that I am planning to do something, or there is somebody planning to do something, who is the first person they're going to go after?
You got the gun.
That's right. You the
You're
first.
that guy. You the first one. You're going to look like a suspect.
Well, no. I'm saying, what I'm saying is, if somebody is out and they are open carrying, right, but there's another person that's coming to that place to either rob it or to shoot it up or whatever, if I see that there is a person with a gun, the first person I have to take out is the one with the gun. You're basically making yourself a target, is what I'm saying. So no, I won't be open carrying, like showing it off, because I don't need you to know what's going on.
It's just, I think the thing that I'm just blown away by, is it necessary, right? Is it necessary, Ace, that you go on the Foot Locker because you're trying to go ahead and buy you some more kicks, and you got to go ahead and have the strap with you to go in the, like, if you got that kind of heat on you, right, then I guess I can kind of understand, right? But if you're just a casual, right, like most of these times, I don't think that there's people who are strapped up like this. Like, nobody got that kind of issue with them that I'm aware. I'm just talking.
Yeah, I don't think people who are concealing are doing that because they got heat on them. I think more so it's like we've seen too many instances of places, like random places, like you guys just had a salon shot up. I mean, a massage parlor, whatever. Like, these are just places like that you don't think that, is this really a threat to somebody? And so the thing is that it's always the idea of it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. But like you said, to be walking around with an accessory, like you just walking around with a bulletproof vest on and your stuff casual just to go.
Yes, dog. This is my thing though. To me, like, I understand you saying, just you strapped up and you thinking, well, just in case something pop off. Like, I'd imagine that if you strap, yeah, you might be waiting for something to pop off, but that's more of a trigger to me to do something that I think could be unnecessary. Like, I just don't know that. Yes, it's, to me, I think that I draw, it's a fine line to me between, yes, you can legally do it. So if you legally do it, then that's fine. But I just always wonder, is it necessary? And you say, well, better to be caught. Like, those things don't happen every day, right?
But you just don't know the day, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I just always think that people who just carry and keep it like that, you're scared of a good ass whipping. Then maybe who knows? Somebody might just be walking around and they have.
Bro, you can't bring a fist to a gunfight, though. The thing is like I said, it's not like you can pick the day that somebody's going to come in and shoot up some other place. I would rather be prepared than not. Like, that's all I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying, because at the end of the day, you have to protect yourself and protect your family at all costs. But dog, you mean to tell me, dog, you out here going shopping, you getting new sneaks now, and you got to be strapped up just in case somebody pop off at the Foot Locker, bro? Like, come on, Charlie. Bro.
In Penn Square Mall in Oklahoma City, there's been a couple of shootings in the mall. So when you ask that question, while that might sound like something that seems trivial to you, again, you don't know when and where people are going to pop off. You don't have, like, you for all people have read stories of random people getting shot that has nothing to do with them. And so the thing is, so when you say go to the mall, I'm saying public display of your weapon. I'm talking concealed. If I'm concealing just because of protection that has no heat on me, nobody's out to get me or nothing like that. It's just about being in the wrong place at the wrong time is all I'm saying. So if you disagree with that, that's on you. But I'm saying, as for me and mine, if I'm out and about, I do plan to keep myself strapped up, because I don't, like, these are random shootings that happen that you don't know when they're going to pop off.
I understand. So this is my thing. Okay. I understand, right? I understand you in the ride, right? You out here in your ride. You never know what's gonna happen, so you keep the strap in the ride or whatever. That's cool. I understand that, right? I guess, and because that's still, you never know what's gonna happen, right? Somebody could, in theory, just jump out on you, try to jack you, whatever, you gotta defend yourself or whatever. But I guess what I'm saying is that when you're out of your personal space, that's where for me, yes, is it legal? Sure, right? But is it excessive? Like, I don't know. I feel like my feelings about that is somewhere in between that. It's not black and white to me. I guess that's where I look at it.
To each his own. Like I said,
to each his own, right? I get it.
Like I said,
but
for me, it's
at
the
Penn Square.
Play.
At Penn Square, if they have these shootouts at the mall, if you just banging out at the mall regularly, I don't know if these are registered gun owners that are just banging it out regularly.
100%. And that was my original point when you started bringing it up, is that the people that are doing these mass shootings and things of that nature, do we know if they are registered gun owners? Because gun control, the whole point of having registered people is to have some form of receipt of the person who owns a weapon. That's the way that I look at it. So I understand that there needs to be probably some stricter laws or some further investigation, but it was a lot. It was a big deal and a lot for me to go through to get my concealed carry license. So, but
I bring that up, Ace Kennedy, because I bring that up primarily because think about this though, right? They've made it where it's easier. The process is easier in Atlanta to buy a gun than it is to just go vote. They've been doing these subtle things in Atlanta to suppress voting rights. They recently passed some laws now where you can't give somebody water, you can't give somebody snack, you can't have snacks. They're doing all these little things, though, bro, that make a law, but they never address those kind of things. So those constitutional laws that they're just fine tuning, but they never address those things, those other ones.
They do not want what happened this past election to happen again, and they are causing more problems than helping. And so they think, well, again, they're trying to suppress the votes. We get it. We know what they're doing.
Yeah,
bro. Let me tell you the craziness that happened here in doggone Shawnee, Oklahoma today, bro. Somebody stole an ambulance, and there was a person in the back of the ambulance. They finally caught the dude. But they said at one point the person that was in the back of the ambulance was hanging all out the back, trying to get bruh.
I'm laughing only because that seems like something that would happen in a movie.
Yeah, absolutely. I know what you're saying. Not laughing at the situation, but just could not believe that really in Shawnee, Oklahoma. That's my stomping grounds on Sundays. I mean, they kidnapped the patient. Oh, wow.
Listen, they ain't the only thing. I saw that in Oklahoma that a judge ended up having to resign because of sexual advances and allegation and misconduct. Like, what is popping out there in Oklahoma?
Well,
and he resigned. Like these were attorneys. So I'm thinking, like, if they filed, it'd be different if you just had some admin say you groped them. That he know the power of somebody. He said, I'm out of here.
Well, I mean, I guess he looked at what happened to Cuomo and was like, nah, let me just go ahead and step on down.
Well,
Vixen is the one that sent it to me.
Oh my gosh. So listen, Cuomo at least had allegations, and he was like, no, I'm not resigning because I've tried to holler at some girls. You know what I'm saying? But Homeboy had 3 lawyers though, bro. And like I said, I think that he saw like, nah, this could get out of pocket real fast. And this dude was a former cop who's a lawyer now. Like, nah, homeboy was out there getting down.
He was a judge, right?
I think he was a judge. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. Oh
my gosh. So, but it's these allegations, but that's my thing. So to me, it at least makes me think that at least with Andrew Cuomo, like he hasn't resigned. So I think that he feels like I don't. They allege that I did something. He may have thought, I tried to holler at him, but I don't think that he felt like he crossed the line.
Well,
I think this dude.
It is one of those things, though. When you look at that's always going to be the thing, right? with the way the Me Too movement is and stuff like that, it is hard for a dude to holler at a girl, because what a dude might perceive as trying to holler, a chick might consider that offensive and inappropriate. And so
Vixen, V already said, hey, you know what? If you trying to holler and I tell you no, that's one thing. But you know, she don't want you to be persistent and keep on trying to holler.
Dudes can't be
that's crazy though.
Trying to get what they want no more.
Isn't that like I thought on some level that girls, and I say girls, women like to be pursued. And not just that, some guys just love the pursuit. The pursuit to some guys is more of a high than actually landing the girl. Like some dudes love to holler. And so I think that it's crazy to me. That is, but for the case out in Oklahoma, though, for him to just go ahead and say, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and resign, versus Cuomo, who hasn't. I think that Cuomo's saying, nah, man, it ain't what they said.
Yeah, I get that.
Listen, sexual misconduct, we didn't just let it breeze by here.
Yeah.
But Deshaun Watson, he's up to 16 women now, bro. When we first heard about this, we only knew of maybe 2, 3.
Well, when it first came out, I knew of 4, because even though they released 2 in the news, there was some other outlet that sent me a message that said there was 4 women, even though what I'm saying, like what I'm saying is Bleacher Report might have just reported 2. You know what I'm saying? But there was another channel that said, no, there were 4 women. So here's my thing. Some of the allegations that the women have, because it seemed like a lot of them were masseuse, massage
therapists.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Those look a little, again, it's one of those things, like, it's what might be perceived as flirting might be looked at as inappropriate. And I think
Kennedy, all of the women are massage therapists.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I stopped looking into. Go ahead.
This is the way that I've understood this to be, right? So Deshaun Watson reached out to these women via the gram, right? And it looks like this was his method of trying to holler, right? He would pursue these chicks that are massage therapists through the gram, fly them out, or have him come out to wherever he was at in Houston, because I think some of these women are all over the country or whatnot. And so he would have them come on over to do his massage. And then I think that they were saying that he just went further than what they were expecting.
This is what was happening. They were saying that he was saying, listen, I have a condition to where I get hot quickly, so I would prefer not to wear a towel. Most, when you go get therapy done, you're draped with at least towels. And so the thing was that, you know what I'm saying, he would be butt ass. And
but they say dress to your level of comfort at every massage place I've gone to. So if you want to get butt ass, you can go ahead and go butt ass. But
so
you go down to your drawers, but he apparently said, I like to go.
He was buck naked and basically was asking them to go a little further than what they were planning to, and exposing his stuff. And so this is where we're at. So again, I'm never going to tell a woman if she's comfortable or not, or how she feels. So it's, but let me be real for a minute. I think this is all a ploy to keep him from being traded.
Talk to me.
I'm just saying, bro, it just seems a little weird that the moment he request a trade, that all of a sudden all of these allegations drop, because he was about, he just seen what James Harden did. He put up his stink to get out of Houston. And so then here it is. He was trying to put up a stink to get out of Houston. And then here we are. So I'm not saying these women that it's not the truth. I'm just saying it seems a little suspicious that when he requests a trade from Houston, that all of a sudden these allegations drop.
Okay, so this is another thing that I heard. I actually heard that the lawyer who is filing this civil lawsuit is a neighbor or lives in the same subdivision as the Houston, Texas owner, bro. Like that's mighty coincidental. If I'm not mistaken, this guy who is the lawyer had ran for mayor of Houston and lost in a runoff, but he is a famed, civil, lawsuit style lawyer and everything like that, though, man. What I think is crazy is that Deshaun Watson also has a lawyer who basically says, hey, we got some text messages from like two of the girls or whatever that's going to go ahead and exonerate him, that this is just like a money grab. Mm-hmm. And this is the thing I think that's going to be crazy, is because it could very well be that you just have these two girls who it was a money thing. Like, hey, the way that they described it was, you know what, man, I'll just go ahead and forget that this even happened. You can go ahead and cut me with, boom, 100 bands, 200 bands or whatever. And then he basically just, I guess, said, nah, you know what, that this was consensual, but everything like that. But but this is, again, the Me Too, right? Because even if that was true with those two, everybody else is telling the same story. And the sad part about this, bro, is that when I think about him, and not that it's the same, but when I look at the consistency of the stories, it reminds me of the Bill Cosby stories about how everybody would say Bill would drug him. And all of their stories were the exact same. And when you listen, especially when you look at, if you've ever read Beverly Johnson's account of what happened, it's so detailed, bro, that when I heard hers, I immediately believed every single word that she was saying. Although there were some things that she said in her story, and I don't want to get too off track, but she said in her story that she went to his hotel because she was basically trying to go over some lines for a part either on the Cosby Show or whatever. And he was really trying to get her to drink some tea, I think some coffee. And he was telling her that she was a little nervous, but maybe if you go ahead and drink this coffee, you'll feel straight. He was asking her. And she finally sipped on it and immediately started feeling like, my head's spinning. And she got angry. It was telling him that she drugged him, that he drugged her, and that she made all this noise. And the boy basically, at the end of the day, he got up out of Dodge, and she is running after him, stumbling all over the place, telling anybody who would listen that he drugged her. And that was very consistent with every other thing, And I just it's not that the stories are the same with Deshaun Watson. It's just how consistent they are. Like, it would be one thing if some women had different variations of it, but they all seem to be very consistent. And it's not to say that maybe somebody isn't saying that they're just trying to jump in on this money grab, or he did the same thing to me.
And if it's the same lawyer, then I'm wondering if they're being coerced in any way. And again, I'm not trying. I don't want to.
It's civil. I just thought that here's my thing. Like, I understand if somebody's trying to holler at you and you go overboard, and you might feel like, bruh, I done told you no. You tried to holler at me, whatever. However you tried to say it, and I said no. That's it. But I think that, to me, I would imagine that because it's civil, right? They're not looking for him to be prosecuted. They're not looking for him to go to jail. I just think of when it comes to civil, it's about money, right? It's not criminal. And I'm not saying that it's more right, but I guess my thing is that if I felt like, if it was I guess maybe that's it. It's sexual harassment. It's not like they're saying that he raped them and everything like this. So he didn't do anything criminal. It's going to be his word versus her word. My thought, Ace, is that at some point, bro, he's going to end up settling. That's too many for him not to. And to be honest, I think he's going to settle on somewhere like undisclosed amount. It's going to be where he's going to end up paying all these girls about $250,000 to have it go away. And that's not to say that he did it. I think that, like everybody else with money, it's just easier to just have this whole thing go away that way.
But the problem is he's still guilty in the court of public.
Very much so. Very much so.
And like Charlemagne always says, the lie, who's going to believe the truth when the lie is more entertaining? And I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm just saying the allegation alone is devastating enough to where it can harm him in the future.
Listen, I think that it won't stop him from playing in the league, right? But I do think that you're gonna have some women's groups showing up to the practices, showing up to the camps. I do think that it stains his image in the fact that some details are gonna come out about their stories and everything like that. And it could be that these things are true, but it's a matter of, well, his word versus it's going to be one of those things where it's like, how do you view these details of everybody's story? But he could lose, sponsors. He could lose endorsements and all that stuff.
And again, it's interesting that all of this happened once he decided he did not want to play for Houston anymore. All of the sports programs in Houston right now are looking real shady. You got the Astros over here cheating. You got the Rockets that just done disintegrated, and then
blew up their whole team.
Yeah, so it's a lot going on. Prayers for Houston, bro.
Listen, man.
But man, listen, we ain't done with allegations yet, man.
Yes.
This boy, what's his Derrick Jaxn?
Listen, okay, let me. This is the crazy thing, though, bro. So Derrick Jaxn. Derrick Jaxn has been. Listen, if you Deshaun Watson, bro, you at least loving the fact that at least somebody else is leading the headlines here, because Derrick Jaxn is looking more and more foolish and more stupid every day. And that doesn't include the fact that the internet is going to be undefeated, right? When it comes to that. So he came out, and the whole background, female says, hey, you know what? I was having an affair with Derrick Jaxn. He came out here.
She had pictures
She had pictures in his crib. He done brought this girl to the house. Apparently, the wife and kids was out of town on vacation, wherever, but they were nowhere to be found. And he ultimately comes out and says, yeah, that was true. I was going through this phase. We didn't have sex. It was a non-sexual relationship, basically. They flirted. They talked about probably all these other good things that they probably do to each other, Big Snoop.
Mm-hmm.
And that was his initial response to that. So by the time we met on Tuesday, he had posted his live on that. And then he went live again with the wife, had the wife out here looking crazy, looking like she was held hostage. Everybody been talking about the bonnet gate. Is that what you called it?
Yeah, bonnet gate.
Somebody called him Bonnet and Clyde, bro. The memes are undefeated. But he came out, and I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? I mean, I was really trying to, when he said initially, Ace, he said in his first response to this that I was angry at God because I gave myself to God. I recommitted myself to God. And when I did, my relationship went spiraled out of control. And on top of that, I wasn't seeing my kids. So we were separated, was his initial response. And then while he was separated, he went and hooked up with this chick, but he said he didn't smash. So in my eyes, I was defending that. I was like, it's not cheating. He didn't have sex with it. Yeah, it was inappropriate.
Right. And that's when I came out and said, I need more details.
Need more details. But in his interview with the wife, he basically sits down and he says, yes, I did some things. And it sounded like plural, like it wasn't just a one thing.
You knew he was talking sideways when he said Derrick Jaxn did some things. He talking in third person.
Yes.
And still trying to sell his book, but keep going.
Oh my God. So listen, let me set this on up. So he gets on here with the wife. And this is the thing I think that's crazy. And he says that in his book, he said, we talk about how we dealt with this years ago. So I'm just thinking like, wait, that went over my head. Because if this came out now And if he's describing this as an incident that happened in 2020, and he says we dealt with this years ago, I'm saying like, okay, so you've done this before, then, right? Ace Kennedy, what doesn't sit well to me with him, and like I said, to each his own. People can say whatever about, you know what I'm saying? Like people will say, oh, it don't matter to me, whatever. I'm just talking about for what's presented to us. I just find it ironic that he is known as the guy that bashes men to help talk up women, to help women deal with their issues with relationship. He will bash men, and he describes these scrubs and describes these things that these kind of guys do. And lo and behold, Ace Kennedy, he is describing himself to the T of everything that's coming out.
Him up as donkey of the day. And because Charlamagne said, listen, him and I had a pact that we was going to keep each other accountable. He said, so here it is, my guy. Like, yeah, you going to get this donkey today. So, yeah, it is interesting. And my thing is that, like you said, the fact it's one thing to give somebody advice, but to then call out other dudes about stuff that you're doing yourself, that's a whole different level, bro. So, but what else happened though?
So, okay, fast forward. Apparently somebody in his comments, because Derrick Jaxn, he's known for doing his responses. He'll play the video of somebody saying some story, and he'll give his feedback. He's done the same thing with the homie Gilly the King. And so what I think is crazy to me is that he goes through and he does his responses. Well, Derrick Jaxn does a response to the Derrick Jaxn interview. So he's responding in third person, all while also selling his book in the process. He is basically commending himself for the things that he said in his day. And it almost would, if you didn't know better, you would swear that he's not talking about himself. Like he is literally talking about somebody else. I was like, what in the world am I going? What am I seeing? Well, it wasn't over.
I know
it wasn't over.
Because it was a blogger that posted and said, hey, bro.
Well, before that, the wife said, nah, P. Diddy, I thought I told you that we won't stop. She comes out. She gives her Bonnet Chronicles on over here, and she comes out here wearing her newly famed bonnet with her army shirt, which, by the way, I died laughing because I saw somebody photoshopped her into a picture with No Limit, C Murder, PMC, Silk the Shocker, Fiend. She's blended in right on along with No Limit because they also got the army on. Everything she got, she's matching with the team. And she says something to the fact that y'all call this a bonnet. No, this is like the crown or hat of
the whole
God, army, whatever. I was just like, bruh, like, come on. Like, and she got the clarinets going on in the background because I guess apparently she used to be in a band. He played football. Maybe that's how they met or whatever, though. But she's going in, and she is. I don't know if she's, in the movies they say, oh, I'm gonna clear my name. Maybe she is giving somewhat of an explanation solo dolo. She comes out and says another one, and I'm thinking like Ace Kennedy. At this point, do you need to sit down with your silk beret? Like, what are we doing? Like, when do you not know when to say, listen, I'm gonna take the L, and I'm gonna go ahead and sit this one down, bro?
Man, it's just the thing is that obviously when you get into, like I said, the blogger, there are things that are on the line for him, which is why he's trying to clear his name.
Listen, another chick comes out. Apparently, this lady is a doctor at some nice hospital out here in Atlanta. Some blogger just said that the homeboy has a non-disclosure act or a cease and desist gag order. And she just seemed like she could not wait to tell it.
The thing was the blogger ended up talking to her on Monday.
Yes.
And then the chick, Nikki is what she's going by, the doctor. She ended up seeing, she finally, because he had her blocked on all social media stuff that he has. But Nikki doesn't have social media, but as far as like the YouTube videos.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened was she saw it through her sister's phone of him doing the interview with his wife. And so he was like, listen, give me a chance to explain. He wanted to talk to her in person. But by that time, she already had the blogger already had the interview. So she basically was like, listen, I'm going to give you the opportunity to tell your wife the truth. Otherwise, it's going down.
Listen, okay. Listen, Ace Kennedy. Don't that seem kind of messy though? She couldn't wait to put his business out. And maybe if you're a blogger, that's what you do, right?
That's what you do. That's what you do.
You got sponsors. That's who rock with you. They rock with you because that's what you do.
And then on top of that, she gave him the opportunity to do it. And here's the thing: you had a chance to 8 Mile yourself, but you didn't. So she was a woman of her word.
Ace Kennedy, let me ask you something, bro. If we had the skinny on somebody, is that something that we do?
I don't think that's our lane. I think we just report on the report.
Yeah, because I think that it's this is my thing.
You already know how I feel, bro. I'm the type of person, I don't like to get in folks' business when it becomes public knowledge. I just make comments on what's public knowledge.
On the public knowledge.
Right. But I'm not trying to drop no scoops. That's not what I'm in.
This chick could not wait. I mean, even though she said, I'm gonna give you the chance, I don't think she would have. She would have said, listen, it's Dame time, and you taking way too long. She seemed like she could not wait. She seemed like she was so excited. Like, listen, this already made her 2021.
She was excited, but at the same time, she also is experienced in what she did because she had her lawyers look into it because of the fact that old chick had the gag order and stuff like that. So she had to make sure that she could legally drop this information because it was a conversation that Nikki had with her.
Right. But this is my thing. You prepped because you were planning this. You was going to let this leak.
She was
one way or the other. Yes. This made her year. Almost like me seeing Snoop Dogg climb up on the ropes and jumping off on the splash. I can tell she was excited to put this man's business out there. And I don't. So this is the thing.
She's been tracking him for years, though.
She has been.
She
is like low. She's not even low key. She is like blog stalking him to me. Like, and it feels like. This is what I felt. After that, I felt terrible for the wife, bro. Like, I felt terrible for the wife only because here's my thing. I think that she knew about this. Like, if it happened before, they're still together, and they said they worked everything out, and they went through the path of God. I'm thinking that he went ahead and undumped everything on her, and she knows all of this. So when she accepted him, right, she accepted him, and probably in private, none of her people knew all of the details on it. I'm assuming that she told who she wanted to know. And so the fact that indiscretion is now public, right? And now that it's one thing that your man is looking like a fool and looking like a hypocrite. But you was behind the scene. Now he didn't pull you in front of the camera to join him in the clown show. And that is the problem that I have. I feel terrible for her that now people are digging up old pictures of her, right? People are now people are looking and comparing her like, oh, she out here with the black bonnet on. She ain't got no bra on. She got us. I see why he slid or whatever. And I'm looking at this chick and she is getting drugged unnecessarily, bro.
Not fair. And then on top of that, if you really listen to the interview, then you find that he got some other chick pregnant. And he got Yes, he got Nikki pregnant. She ended up and so she said that he was trying to pretend like you know, he wanted the baby and this, that, and the other, because she was already like, no, I'm not having no kids with somebody who I'm just messing with, like, nah. And so she you know, did what she had to do with the baby. But yeah, again, all of this came out in that interview. So
it's making them look even worse that you out here, not you out here raw dogging. You out here shooting up the club. You out here, listen, Ace Kennedy, you got a wife and 2 kids. You out here still in the street shooting up the club, bro. What Ace Kennedy, do you understand how much he's describing himself when he talk about all of these things? And listen, I get, bro, that you could very well be a person. You could very well be a person where it's easier for you to give advice. You might not take your own advice, but it doesn't necessarily, you might feel like, hell, it doesn't mean I don't give good advice just because I don't take my own advice.
I mean, I get that, but at the same time, if this is what you're claiming as your profession and you're trying to, in your eyesight, you're trying to uplift to make dudes better. Like, if you're not ready for this, then you don't need to do, like, all of this stuff. You can't, nobody's going to take advice from somebody who's not following their own advice. I mean, that's what a lot of, you even look in the church, right? Prime example, you see like pastors and stuff up there preaching and doing stuff. You hold them to a higher standard because they are talking on behalf of God and talking about what you should do. And so it's hard for a person that looks up to that person, and then you find out that they're doing X, Y, and Z. It's just a brain correlation of, I associate you to have a higher standard because of what you're telling me. And so even though he's not a preacher or a pastor, whatever the case may be, you're still out here giving this advice, but then you're not doing stuff yourself. So it's all bad.
He's a shepherd. He might not be a pastor, but he is a shepherd because, listen, this is the bad part about it too, man. Like, you might see, I'm pretty sure, and I don't even gotta guess, but I'm pretty sure there's like a Derrick Jaxn Facebook group where people probably just talk and commend him and put him on this pedestal. And I'm pretty sure there are a lot of women who idolize him. I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of women who probably have dropped some not gonna say good men.
No. I was just about to tell you, the blogger came out and said that there was a dude that was willing to go on camera and said that his wife basically flipped out on him because of some stuff.
Because of some stuff that Derrick Jaxn said. And you just sit here, you got your shepherd, you're a part of his flock, and he is guiding you because this is my thing, though, bro. If you live in that life, right? If you live in everything that you say, it's sound advice, right? It's sound. But I don't know. This is my thing, though, bro. I don't know. I don't know where you go, right? Like, now everything that you have to say about a relationship, to me, it goes out the window, right? And now you've lost complete credibility on something that you were an expert. Now, I don't know that he's gone to college and he is a doctor. He's a professional. He is a YouTube relationship therapist, right?
So here's the thing. You mentioned like a YouTube or Facebook group, right? I'm sure with his YouTube, he has a Patreon where he gives additional content to people that pay him monthly. So that affects his subscribers. But he also had a deal on the table with TD Jakes that he was getting ready to do. And so this is another thing, which is why he was trying to save face, because he already had this deal in place with TD Jakes.
Listen, follow Mark Nurse for real relationship advice. You'll get a good laugh out of it as well. Yeah. Because certainly if Derrick Jaxn can be looked at as a relationship guru to help you heal from your relationships and give advice, certainly Mark Nurse can be the exact same. And while you're at it, feel free to send your comments to us, because apparently anybody, send me your questions, what you want to know, and we'll give you our professional, unprofessional opinions, because everybody is a therapist these days, apparently, as long as it takes for you to have one person to believe you.
Yeah. Well, bro, before we get out of here, man, let's talk about these trades, bro.
Oh my gosh. Listen, man, all over the place. There's lots of big trades. I think the one that was the highest profile one that I can think of was the Nikola Vucevic, the center from the Orlando Magic. Spent his whole career out there at Orlando, and he made the All-Star for the last 3 seasons, and Orlando said, "Hey, man, we about to just go ahead and finish our rebuild that we've been doing since Dwight Howard left us." Probably the highest profile one.
I don't know. I thought Aaron Gordon was, bro.
No, I don't think. Well, Vucevic is an All-Star, bro, and he.
What I'm saying is, I never heard his name whatsoever. When I'm talking about pre trades, the names that I was hearing come up was obviously Victor Oladipo was one, but not really as much as Kyle Lowry, and then Aaron Gordon, and who was the other big name that people was like trying to
John Collins.
Yeah, I heard that too.
But that's the reason why I would say that it's one of the more high profile, because even still of resumes, right? I mean, Kyle Lowry was one, but I'm talking about current resumes. Vucevic has been an All-Star for like the last 3 years. So, right?
That's the one that was floating around at everybody, and which, obviously they're reaching an agreement on a buyout. But Andre Drummond.
I didn't think that nobody was gonna. So that's tough. I didn't think that nobody was gonna trade for Drummond, seeing that they knew that a buyout was gonna come though. But listen, and the last one that stood out was Rondo. Man, Rondo signed with the Hawks. I don't know. It was the money. He signed a 2-year deal when everybody else was only offering a 1-year deal. The Hawks brought him on out here to back up Trae Young, and now he's headed back to LA, but for the Clippers, man. Which of all the trades, which one of them got your eyebrow raised like the Rock?
I'm gonna be honest. Obviously my ear was to the streets for the Thunder. And so I think their trade to me was the biggest one for me, because George Hill is somebody who I was excited to get him and Trevor Ariza. Trevor Ariza never did suit up. And we ended up trading him to Miami for Myers Leonard, and then we released him, obviously. But when you talk about George Hill, we got back this center that was basically filling in for Embiid while he was out. And so apparently people was like, yo, this dude was balling. Well, the Oklahoma got him, and of course we got picks. Yeah.
He just need more game time. He need more minutes. Yeah,
he's gonna have the minutes now in Oklahoma, I think, because if we put him as a starter and then we put our young dude Morris Brown as the backup, bro, we back in the game with the big men.
Lou Dort's still there though.
Yeah, Dort is still there. SGA is still there. I'm just saying the Thunder, that was a big deal for me because of the fact I thought that Al Horford might be in some type of package, but we kept him. So he's still
Al Horford getting paid so much that nobody wants to take on this contract, bro.
Well, if he's the highest paid person on our team, that's fine. Because we
Al Horford makes like 35 a year, bro. It's ridiculous on how much money he's getting paid.
He balling. He's doing his thing in Oklahoma.
Listen, I think that to me, the thing that the trade that I was the most curious about, 3 actually, Oladipo to Miami, because I think that I just wonder where Miami is. Miami got a bunch of hoopers, and they got Oladipo, and they didn't have to give up Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero,
right?
Duncan Robinson. They didn't have to give up none of their young guys to get him. So that was the one. And what I am kind of curious about is that I'm just kind of wondering if he is what they're really missing, right? Like, is he gonna put them, because they were in the finals, and granted it was the bubble, but I just wonder if he's enough to get them in championship aspirations.
The reason why they picked him up, because everybody, like I said, at one point was going after Kyle Lowry, but Kyle Lowry wanted a 2-year deal, $25 million a year. He wanted those guarantees, and folks was like, bruh, you a little
35, bro.
Exactly. So nobody was trying to do that. So Victor Oladipo, it's the same thing what happened with 76ers, right? Which is like everybody was going after Kyle Lowry, and then all of a sudden it's like, y'all asking prices too much, so I'll just get George Hill instead. He's going to improve our 3-point shooting. He can definitely do his thing as far as a point guard. So no, let's just go that direction. But I'm going to tell you the other trade that was big for me. I know it wasn't as much for you, but Norman Powell going from the Raptors to Portland. They gave up, Gary Trent Jr. and they gave up what's his name that messed up his Achilles. Rodney Stuckey.
Rodney Hood.
Rodney Hood, yeah. And so I thought it was an upgrade. I do like Gary Trent Jr. I think that Powell is just a little bit more consistent. It could be apples to apples, really. But I think that if you're Portland, you're trying to show Dame that, look, bro, we're trying to put the people around you. So I think it was more of a visual play than it was, because I think if McCullough goes out being injured, then you have Norman Powell there that can actually, he can go. I actually watched him play live, and he can go, bro.
I think that, you know, what's funny not funny, but what I thought was very curious was the fact that Gary Trent Jr. was traded by Portland to the Raptors, and his dad was traded by Portland to the Raptors before. I thought that was crazy. And it was just a month apart, literally, though, man. So that was pretty. This is what I'm wondering. Let me ask you this. So the Clippers got Rondo, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that they got Rondo very similar to how you said that Dame, they wanted to show face to Dame by getting Norman Powell out in Portland. But I think that, technically speaking, Kawhi Leonard in his contract could walk after this, right? After this season. So I think that they also have to show like we in win now phase for them. But Rondo is the kind of person who they kind of ran off. Like they had an issue with some of the players who had a problem with how PG and how Kawhi Leonard was treated last time. And I think that that's been some of the same things that people have said about Rondo, where he has no problem at all with telling you how he feels. He'll call you out on your BS though, bro. But do you think that with a healthy LeBron and a healthy AD, that the Lakers, as currently constructed, would beat the Clippers with Rondo?
See, that's interesting to me, because now you're freeing up PG and Kawhi. And I just think it really depends on the supporting cast. I think if you look at the Lakers with what they did against the 76ers yesterday, you would think the Lakers are in trouble. They're like,
it looked like booty.
They're the rest, the supporting, they got rid of a lot of pieces. And even though, you know, you look at Dwight Howard, I think Vogel just had a good rotation on teams when he played them. And so I just think a lot of those pieces are not there. But Rondo was a tremendous part of the reason why the Lakers won. And so when you add that now to the Clippers, with the Clippers, the rest of their supporting cast, it's a possibility they can take over the West. And the thing is that when you say the health of LeBron and AD, we don't really know. Because with AD, I really do think it's his Achilles. And so he's probably on borrowed time, just like KD was when he was in Golden State and he tried to go out there and play that last time, and you watch that thing roll up the back of his leg. And so the fact that LA is not really commenting on what his injury is, you just keep hearing Achilles brought up somewhere in the mix, and that's just terrible for a big man.
Let me ask you this then. If you LA, right, and AD, and this is going to sound crazy, but follow where I'm going. If AD tears his Achilles, he's going to be out for the rest of this season and all of next season. And then on top of that, he's going to spend that next year. KD still hurt. He comes back, right? And they may say it's this, that, and the other, but it may be resting that Achilles, though, right? So you basically talking about – what's that?
KD's is hamstring right now. It ain't got nothing to do with his Achilles.
Well, listen, that's what they say, right? But here's what I'm wondering. My point is, that means that if AD is out, he's going to be out for roughly 2 years. And by then, LeBron James' contract is going to be almost over with. So if you're the Lakers at that point, do you entertain trading LeBron James if he's going to be at the end of his contract and you are basically going to have to blow it on up anyway?
There's no way that they're going to trade LeBron James. They would rather, because I think LeBron has already told him his plan is to play with his son.
Let me tell you what I think would be fire if that happened. I think it would be fire if LeBron James, if he left the Lakers for some reason, and maybe he should stay, provided that AD is healthy. I think that's his number one option. But if LeBron James leaves the Lakers, I think it would be fire if he went to Miami, bro. You go ahead and get rid of Oladipo. You go ahead and trade Kendrick Nunn. You do whatever you got to do. But I think you get LeBron lined up with Jimmy Butler, lined up with Tyler Hero. And if you get Bam out there, I think that they easily shoe in for the finals for the East.
I think it would be a battle between them and Brooklyn. I just think Brooklyn's going to get to a place where they're so top heavy with the big three that the supporting cast is just
Well, this would be until next year, right? If that scenario happens, right?
Yeah.
If that happens. So yeah.
But no, I definitely think the trades were interesting. I can't wait to see the new people, the new cast of people. After watching my Thunder, I can we got Austin Rivers too. I thought that was dope too.
He's on my 5 players that he's coming off.
Well,
he came off my list of players that I hate.
Well, I think he kind of proved himself, in my opinion, he proved himself in Houston, which is why he's been a part of so many trade packages, because he does have some value. He definitely he's a smarter player and a more consistent shooter than he was when he first came in the league. And I think that, it is what it is. Like
his daddy traded him.
I thought that, but he was in New York. I forgot he was in New York. Yeah. I thought he was a 76er, but no, he was in New York. It was a three-team trade when they
very interesting day. Like I said, I do want to see what Aaron Gordon do at the Nuggets, because I was just starting to wonder if he was going to be one of those players who put up decent numbers on a trash team. But even then, he never took that 20 points a game level that I thought that he was capable of. So I'm waiting to see if he is really that guy, because I think that with them, with the Nuggets letting go, what was your boy, Jeremiah Grant?
Yeah, but that's because he wanted money, though.
I get that, but Aaron Gordon is making that money already. He's already on a $20-some million a year.
I get that. I'm not, but I think Denver's at a point though that they're trying to win right now, and so I think that because they also picked up JaVale McGee, and so they're, I understand what you're saying, but I think Jeremy Grant though, he had an option, I'm sure, with Denver, but he chose to go to Detroit.
Right. I get that. But they're basically paying Aaron Gordon the money that they didn't want to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
So if I see that,
that's what I'm saying. How do you know that they didn't want to pay him, that he just didn't want to leave for more money though?
Well, because I think that the reason why I say that is because Aaron Gordon makes more money per year than what Jeremy Grant makes now. So it's like if he went for more money and now Aaron Gordon is already making, that means that it was less. So I could have been maybe they think that Aaron Gordon is just a better player, and at the end of the day, that's that though, right?
Yeah, I think it gives them more star power per se,
sure.
And that's what I think. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Jeremy Grant is an exceptional player. He was great when he was with the Thunder, but at the same time, I don't think when you looking at long term, again, a star, because now if Jamal Murray, something happens to him, you have another scorer that can be there with Jokic.
And that is my concern, because I've never seen Aaron Gordon do that.
Well, see, and I just know he was an all-star at one time, so that was
he was never an all-star.
Oh no, I'm thinking of boy
dunk contest.
No, old boy from the Bulls that just made it to the all-star.
Zach.
Yeah. Zach.
No, Aaron Gordon. That's the thing. Aaron Gordon has averaged about 15 points, and it was the same kind of 15 points that Jeremy Grant did, and Jeremy Grant fit what y'all were trying to do, and I don't know. So that's what I said. Maybe they think that Aaron Gordon is capable of more, and that what they got from Jeremy Grant was what they were going to get. I don't know, but I'm waiting to see if Aaron Gordon is really a 20 points a night scorer. If in a league that a stretch forward is the thing, and in a league where defense is optional, he averages about 14, maybe 15 points a game, and I just don't think that that's enough. Not for a number 4 overall pick.
I think too, a lot of the moves that were made for the trades was just a visual thing, like just to stimulate the players, like, oh, they're trying to do something. I don't think anything really, really, really impacted what is JaVale McGee going to do for Denver? You know what I'm saying? What is, I think the biggest impact is yet to come. Like, I think Rondo might make a difference, but I think ultimately putting Oladipo in Miami. I don't know.
I think that, you know what?
Like I said, Norman Powell, huh?
I think that, you know what? Here's what I think. I think the biggest impact about Rondo going to the Clippers and JaVale McGee going to the Nuggets, the biggest impact is that they didn't go back to the Lakers. I think that even if they don't do anything, you kept them away from the Lakers, and that's to me something.
No, I get that. I think Drummond is going to ultimately be the biggest impact if he goes to like Brooklyn or if he goes to the Lakers.
If he go to Brooklyn, dude, I'm not even watching no more. I might just stop. The Brooklyn then trying to stack it. Doggone. Stop it.
I mean, ain't that what you're supposed to do? I thought at the end of the day you were trying to win a championship. So you get the people that's
you are. That's what you're supposed to do. But then here's the thing. Dre Drummond was an all-star, and just as recently as maybe a year or two ago, right? So it's not like Blake Griffin trying to get him a last-minute ring. I guess at the end of the day, it's like, you know, I don't know. I don't know that it's going to be any easier if he went to the Lakers. I'm not going to give him that much more props. But I guess now that I think about it, I'm indifferent to it. I mean, if he goes to the,
I just want to see what happens. That's basic. I just want to see what happens. That's where I'm at. Because
I don't see what it would look like him going to. It wouldn't look right because I think he's a starter, right? And I think that if you have him on the Clippers, then you got their current starting center has a move to the backup, and I think he's pretty good for their team. I think that if anything, Drummond makes sense to the Nets. But I think also he makes sense to the Lakers.
What does that do with DeAndre Jordan though?
Well, DeAndre Jordan wasn't the starter last year, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that you move DeAndre Jordan down. Yeah.
Okay.
Because Jared Allen was their starter before. So yeah, you got to move him back to the bench.
Well, that's it.
It's the Friday show. What you got for the weekend, man?
Brother, Deuce has got tournaments all weekend. I'm super excited. Brand new AAU team. Shout out to Burner U. So we will be journeying out to go and see what they're capable of this evening, and then they have 2 games tomorrow night. So I will be basically in tournament mode out there shooting some footage.
Listen, man, it's supposed to not. Well, it's a chance that it might rain tomorrow. If not, and I think if it doesn't rain, I might move around a little bit. Apparently, I need to keep that strap on me then when I'm out and about in these places that I'm going. I might have to keep the strap on me though, man. But no, other than that though, man, I think that I'm trying to keep it kind of low key for the weekend though, man. Tie up some loose ends on some things. That's about it. Nothing major though.
That's what's up. Well, like I said,
that music, man.
April 1st.
Friday episode.
On my mind, April 1st. On my mind, Ace Kennedy featuring Charlie Venus. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
If you smell